Hello, everybody. This is Queen Mother, and this is Queen Mother Speaks. Every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. That would be 9 a.m. New York, Atlanta time, 2 p.m. Ghana time. Thank you for tuning in. Guess what? We have a lot going on this month. One of the things that we have going on this month is just what you see right there. You see that? Black History Month. This is it. And we have for you a wonderful guest in studio today. Queen Mother's not going to spill the beans, but in time today, the beans will be spilled. This is also today, especially, is a thing that's called Valentine's Day. So I send love to each of you, wherever you are. Catch this love that Queen Mother's giving out to you on this Valentine's Day. And know that you can make Valentine's Day special for yourself. Whether somebody gives you flowers or not, you can gift yourself. You can also love on yourself. Hey, 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 this is Queen Mother Speaks. Thank you for tuning in. And right now, I'm going to give you over to Nana as she greets the Facebook audience and announce who's in studio. Okay, Nana, let's see. Looks like I don't see Nana there. So let me go ahead and give who's in studio today. Let me just show you who's in our studio today. All right. So our guest today is the iconic ambassador, the one and only Kenneth Zakee. Kenneth, please greet the audience, tell them hello and where you're coming out of, and let them know you'll be back to tell them more about what's going on.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Kenneth Zakee. I'm an artist, poet. I reside in the Atlanta area. Presently, I'm in my studio in East Point, Georgia, at the Arts Exchange, and just here, ready to do some more work on some more artwork, and just start the day off on a good fit. Which I am being on this program. It's a great way to start off my day, and I'm happy to be
Oh,
here. And I'm just open to the questions, open to the love, and whatever y'all want to give. I ain't turning down nothing but my collar.
all right. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. We look forward to being with you. Nana, will you be in studio? No, you won't.
I
Right? Can you
can't.
hear us now?
I can hear you now, and I'm experiencing technical difficulties, so I'm going to be hanging out on the chats. I'm going to be on the Facebook live chat at Queen Mother Speaks, and I'm going to be on the YouTube channel Queen Mother Speaks, handling comments and chats. And I'd like you to take note that we already have from Abimola, we have blessings to all, and my dear brother Zakee. So you're getting a shout out.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I will say to you from last week, once we start notifying the public that Brother Zakee was going to be on the show, people started giving us comments, even from once we started printing out the flyers and promoting that he would be here. So your audience is ready for you, Brother Zakee. Let me once again
Give
thank you for
thanks.
being here on the Queen Mother Speak show. And I want to say hello to some of our faithful fans. I'm going to start out with the fans in Atlanta, Georgia, and that would be Lady Mo, Abimbola, Tina Jones, and Ernestine. We have Marie Powell, High Priestess Say Shot, Melissa Kemp, Carmen, and Michelle. And you can tune in right now to Queen Mother Speaks by going to facebook.com/Queen Mother Speaks. Just click on that, facebook.com Queen Mother Speaks, and get in on this powerful conversation for today. Our co-host, Ra, is in studio today. You want to greet the audience, Ra? Open your mic. Open your mic. Open your mic.
Goodness, greetings, blessings, and salutations to all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. And I am so excited. I am so excited that Brother Zaki is going to be with us. And I want to add that he was being modest because Brother Zaki is the glue that keeps everyone together in the community. He's a grassroots organizer, social activist, social justice activist, and he also is a Kwanzaa coordinator. And so let me add that Brother Zaki is brand new. Look at Brother Zaki, because a couple of months ago, that's not what was happening. So we are so blessed, and he is a miracle to be here. And Queen Dash, back to you. Stay tuned
Yes.
for what's coming. Thank you, Brother Zaki.
Thank you so very much. Okay, thank you so very much for that. And I will be hearing more from her a little later. And also, of course, our guest in studio, visual artist, the renowned, the one and only, the iconic Mr. Kenneth Zaki. I want you to know that I do know the brother when I live stateside. And Queen Mother, too, is excited and happy to have him on the show today. All right, so we want to say to each of you tuning in, wherever you are in the world, continue to wash your hands, not because the government says so, but because it makes sense to wash your hands. So do that. Also, we want to say that Queen Mother Speaks is a safe space for inspiration, for expression, all right, and for you to say what's on your heart. We also have another show called Bonga Dada Bonga. It's a new platform for women's voices. It is here, and you can be catching that show live on Thursdays. Right now, Bonga Dada Bonga is on holiday, but they'll be coming back sometime in the 2024 year. So please stay tuned for that. Let's talk about who we are today. We are a show that's called Queen Mother Speaks. And what is that? Well, it's a community platform. And what we deal with is conversations that matter. We like to inform, to educate, to ignite, to inspire. We want to fire you up. We want you to laugh. And we want you to listen to the witty dialogue between with us and our guest. Please go to our Facebook page, Queen Mother Speaks, at Facebook. And when you're there, be sure to come to the chat room and say hello. We'd like for you to do that. All right. So right now, we're going to go into our breathing exercise, which we do every week. As you well know, we started learning about breathing during the pandemic, Queen Mother especially. I went to a place called the Art of Living Institute, learned a lot of things about breathing, and I'm telling you, those breath works is what saved my life during pandemic. So we're going to do a breath work right here, right now, and I'm going to ask everyone in the studio to tune in and let's get going. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in 3 times. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, breathe in to the count of six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold to the count of six, and then exhale very slowly through your nose or through your mouth to the count of 10. So breathe in 6, hold 6, exhale slowly to the count of 10. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to pull my chair up a little closer so I can be right here with you in this moment. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Okay. Breathe in. Let's try it again. Again, breathe in. Here we go. 1, hold. It might feel a little strange if you're doing it for the first time, but hang in there. We're getting ready to do just one more. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Hold. And soon we will bring back the expert breath facilitators on the show. Thank you for breathing with me, and know that life is breath and breath is life. And one of the things I've learned through the breathing exercises is that it can reduce our stress. Okay, it can increase our oxygen intake, and that's what helps to lower the pressure when you breathe. And I'll just throw in a quickie for you. Many times when I go to the doctor, and one of the things they do is to test our pressure. I don't know about you, but I get scared every time I'm just going to the doctor. I'm scared just showing up. So my pressure is going to go up just because I'm at the doctor. But I've learned that if you do 5 good breathing exercises before you start your work for your pressure, it will come down.
Queen,
Thank
may
you.
I add 2 more things? May I add two more things? My add
Please
two.
do.
Okay.
Please
It
do.
it centers you and increases your focus ability, and it increases your mental acuity, your critical thinking. You're able to think a little deeper. Thank you so much. Back to Queen.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Coach. Okay, so now we're going to go into our meditation for today. And I'm going to ask you to listen from your heart. Okay, and I'm going to read our meditation for today. The meditation is God's love gives me joy. God's love give me joy. God love gives me joy. I am one with my good. While what I may not seem like much to some or too much to others, I'm still blessed. I am thankful to enjoy all that I have. My inner joy attracts more love to me. I know that this joy that I have did not come from someone else. this peace that I have, this peace that I have found comes from the love inside of me. A supreme love that gives me joy no matter what may come my way. I am joyful and I am blessed. I appreciate who I am. Okay. I love the joy that spirit brings and gives to me. I love the peace that goes beyond human understanding. And I seek and choose to see my world as peaceful. My world is loving. My world is joyful. With so much of this joy in my heart, I have much love to give, and I love giving love. Thank you, love, in me, as me, through me, around me, and through the Christ within. And so it is. Our scripture for today is I have spoken these things to you that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be full. St. John 15:11. And that meditation is from Hillside International Truth Center, located in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're very pleased to have the Hillside Daily Thoughts on Queen Mother Speaks. So, in the realm of spirituality, February, the month of February amplifies the energy of love. And love encourages us to deepen our connections with ourselves and deepen our connection with others. It's a time to reflect on the importance of compassion, forgiveness, and kindness in our interaction with those who are around us. Okay, so right now we're going to go to the introduction of our guest, Mr. Zakee. And Nana, will you be able to bring that or is that for me? Okay, well, I'm not hearing back from her at the moment. So Queen Mother's going to go forward. Okay, so first, let me say that Mr. Zakee studied at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and he lives in Atlanta, Georgia. He's from Cleveland, Ohio, originally. Our brother, Mr. Kenneth Zakee, is an artist. He is a poet and he's a community activist. Right now, residing in Atlanta, while attending Morehouse College, he co founded America's first African fraternity called KMT, and that was in the year 1987. He served as chairman of Metro Atlanta's Kwanzaa Association. Metro Atlanta Kwanzaa Association. And as you well know, Queen Mother does Kwanzaa every year. So in the year 2024, you will be inviting him back to do some things with us also with Kwanzaa. Okay. He co-founded Club Kuumba, which is an open mic poetry gathering in 1993 until the year 2000. Mr. Zakee also worked with the Atlanta homeless population and served as the program director for Trinity House at Big Bethel Church. Now, that was one of the many programs that they have at Big Bethel, and he's been very active with that for many, many years. He also does a program for homeless men with drug problems. During his tenure there, Mr. Zaki also established the Kalonji Brotherhood, and that one is a rite of passage support. It's a support group for men who are in recovery. Mr. Zaki has also uh, received numerous awards over the years for his social and his artistic endeavors, and he's appeared on several media outlets for his work. Queen Mother is very happy to have him today on the Queen Mother Speak Show. He's committed to serving our youth and inspiring a new generation of artists and leaders. We're delighted and honored to have him on the show today, and we thank you so much for choosing to be on the Queen Mother Speak Show. Come on in and say hello to everybody.
Thank you. Thank
All
you very
right.
much. Thank you for that.
Right.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and thank you for having me on the show. It's like it's an honor to be here, and I'm just like I said, I'm open to the questions and what have you. I don't know what to say. That was such a good introduction. I think people know who I am. So, y'all want to
Yes.
ask me some particular questions, go ahead on. But I want to just say hey to my people out there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for
All right.
supplying. Thank you for this forum. So we can talk about things that we need to talk about, and talk about art and stuff, So like, I'm just giving thanks, and I'm just open. You can ask me some
Brother
questions,
Zaki,
or if you just want
Brother
me to
Zaki,
talk, I can do it. Yes, ma'am.
before you start, could you share one or two poems with us, and then we can go in to the meat of the situation. But this is the meat for me.
Yes, ma'am.
So would you please? And you
Okay.
know which one I like. You know which one I like.
Remind me.
Be positive.
Oh my goodness.
All right, but he's
Let
going to
me
come
share
with
this.
that
Let me
one.
share this one
And
first,
we
and
wrote,
then I do be positive.
Do it whatever, however you
okay.
want to do it. Go
All
ahead.
right. This poem is called Euster. I know some folks I call Euster. All they ever talk about is yesterday, what they used to do. I used to read. I used to cook. I used to exercise. I used to get involved. I used to pray. They used to, we used to. They never talk about what they're doing today. They used to. That was that. And this poem right here is for my sisters. A
Okay.
beautiful man you do possess. What I get from it is happiness, good vibrations, and a warm feeling. I want you to know with each and every passing day, these feelings grow. I can't truthfully say these words come from my heart because my heart pumps blood. I can say these words are the product of an emotion, the emotion called love. Knowing you is a pleasure. Being around you, I treasure far more than you can ever measure. I can't believe I found someone like you who warms me through and through. I only pray I've shown you a brighter day. These words are for real because they express the way I feel, and I feel the way I do because of what I see in you. A beautiful mind.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, we
That
love
was
it.
powerful. That was powerful. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Asante. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Go
And
on, go on.
Yes, well,
thank you.
brothers and sisters, I guess I'll get started since they ain't asking me no questions.
No, no, no. We got some
Just
questions
messing
for
with
you.
y'all. Just
We definitely
messing
got some
with
questions
you.
for you. All
Go ahead,
right,
ask me
all
some
right. Now,
questions.
I just want to speak for a moment about the Black arts movement and what happened with it. It spurred the rise of many educational and advocacy related initiatives. And these initiatives that started would integrate into the overall American culture, providing the opportunity for immersion of African American arts into the communal psyche of the country. So this year, 2024, Black History Month is a celebration of African Americans and the arts, right? And so we find that the African American art is infused with African, Caribbean, and the Black American lived experience. Brother Zarkey said, and I quote, the inspirations for my work comes from African people, African American culture. I consider everything a canvas, and I am presently working with clothing, greeting cards, wall hangings, and gourds from West Africa. African symbols state clearly the cultural pride of my work. And so now that is his statement to us, how he has infused African culture into his work. I want you to liberate a little further, please, brother, on how you came to do that. How, when did you decide that you would have that as one of the infusions of your work, brother
Well,
Zaki?
it's the same thing that um, inspired me to be a social activist, a community activist. It's the same thing that inspired me to be a poet. It's like a black man living in America and experiencing the injustices that, come along with being of a darker hue. You know, and um,
Mm-hmm.
and so like it's my release. It's my release. I can't tell you how many friends of mine that I came up with that had like two realities, either death or in jails. It's a lot of people that I grew up with
Mm-hmm.
around me. And so the things that I had to do to survive, to stay afloat, to stay away from those places,
Mm-hmm.
I had to find that release. That was through my poetry. It was through, and that's what spurred my art. It's like social
Mm-hmm.
consciousness. Social consciousness,
Okay.
like the music out of the 70s and stuff when we would sit back and we would read the album jacket and the words that came out of Philadelphia, the
Mm-hmm.
sound of Philly, like those things,
Right.
family reunion, all those powerful
Mm-hmm.
pieces that they were putting out there. I'm a child of that. And so I had to be an extension of that through my poetry, my poetry through the last poets, Gil Scott Heron. All of those are mine, Stevie
Mm-hmm.
Wonder. All of those are my poetic
Hey.
influences. Those are my artistic influences, but it's a visual
Uh,
art. See, to me,
mhm.
art ain't nothing but visual poetry, and that's what
All
I am.
right.
I'm a poet at heart. And so that's my
Art is
expression. And
visual poetry.
yes, and so like for me, it's
How
like,
profound. What a
yes,
profound statement. Rock, can you capture that statement for me? Everybody loved that poem that you just gave us, but
thank
capture
you.
that statement he just made.
Yes, ma'am. I
Life
said
is
that.
visual poetry.
I
Life
said
is
art.
visual
I said art
art.
is visual
Art is
poetry.
visual poetry.
Yes.
So, brother, have you infused any Caribbean influences into your work? Have you done any
Um,
Caribbean influence?
I haven't well I have. I've done some things that were some custom orders from some people where I did some things with Sisters of
Okay.
Carnival and what have you. And that was an original piece that, I did for someone. But like
Hmm.
right now, um I've got my wind back. I've got my energy back. I've been facing some medical challenges over the past couple of years, and
Mm,
by the
mhm,
grace of the
mhm,
Most High,
mhm.
I'm on an upswing.
Hallelujah.
I have such tremendous energy, and I
Mm,
have been producing. And for me, all I can say is the best is yet to come. And
mm.
I try to cover
We
all those
receive that.
grounds.
Brother
We receive
Zaki,
that.
uh, I know, I remember when you were in the hospital and you asked everybody to pray for you, and you asked the community to hold you in prayer. And what I saw was courage. I saw humility,
Mm,
faith, and love in you,
mm,
desiring to live because you have yet to complete that destiny. And so that's what motivated me, us, I'm sure. You were asking us to help you, and then you were helping us by making those videos. And I was like, oh my God,
yes.
and I really, but I want to ask you a question. The black man being the hunted in America, what is it that drives you to forge forward?
It's you. It's all of my people. I can't tell you how much I love. I can't tell you how much I love us. Man, I've
Mm,
loved us for a long time. It's just family
it's
to
all right.
me. I don't want to. Some
Take your time. Take your
regardless of
time.
what they put us through as black men and black women.
Mm,
I don't want to be
mm.
anything else. I still don't
Hallelujah.
want to be anything else but a black man.
Hallelujah.
And
Hallelujah.
that's
Thank you
what
for
keeps
that.
me going. That's why
All right.
I am who I am. I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am.
I receive it. I receive it, brother.
Asheo, Ashe,
Yes, yes,
Ashe.
I
yes.
I
All right. And
I
I like to
apologize.
ask uh-huh.
You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize, Brother
No,
Zaki.
Queen Mother
No
Speaks is a
apologies
safe
needed.
space. Queen
This is
Mother
why I
Speaks is a
wanted you.
safe space for
Yeah,
inspiration and expression. And so we express ourselves, and because we're human beings, sometimes that humanness side of us come out. No problem, no problem at all. I would like to ask you, how long have you been painting? And tell us some of the artists who actually inspired you to do your work.
I've been painting since I was a child, but I really got into it in the last 30 years. When I started painting my calabashes, my gourds, I got into that. I started painting those over 30 years. Before that, I was hand painting on T-shirts. That was back in the 80s, so early 80s. And so like I've always had a leaning towards painting, towards art with no formal training. I took a few classes coming up
Mm,
in primary school, but it's just always my art has always been born out of my soul, out of my spirit. And I've worked in social service for a number of years. As you said in my introduction, I
mhm,
worked with brothers and sisters in recovery for a number over 30 years. And my retreat was coming home and doing my artwork. So I've always done it, but it started out basically when I was in social services. It was my therapy. And so,
mhm,
I got to the point where my superiors had become my inferiors. And so I had to take a leap of faith. And I went
mhm.
out set out on my own over 20 years ago and became a full-time artist. Of course, of course, lights were turned off, walls were
Hey.
turned off, all those
Brother,
things. And I found myself just painting and painting. All of my walls, I had all this artwork. I had, hey, for months and months.
Wow.
And today, I don't have none of that artwork. I don't have none of that art. It's all sold. It's been
brother
sold
Zaki,
for
you don't have
years.
any, you don't have any gourds to show us? You don't
Yes.
have any gourds?
I have a wall full of them. I'm in my studio right now. This is my art
Mm-hmm.
behind me.
Uh-huh. Okay. We love it. We absolutely positively love it. We did have some overlays, but Nana, who is managing that part of the studio, is not here at the moment. But we do have some slides of his work to just bring on right now on the screen. So when she gets back in, I'm sure she'll show us some of those great pieces. All right, I want to talk about first off. Let me just take a moment and stop and thank you for what you just shared with us. Because anytime you're working with people who have conditions, whether it's a lot of medical conditions, emotional conditions, physical conditions, or those who have slipped into, as we stated, drug use, Brother Zaki has been working with them to get out of that. And we
I have
just
a
want to thank
question.
him for that.
I have a question.
Yes,
Brother
go
Zaki,
ahead.
could you share with us how you began paint doing the clothing, the art on the clothing? How did that evolve?
Yeah, well, again, back in the 80s, I had a relationship with a good friend. He was from Nigeria. His name was Bayo Suleiman, and together he was one of my cohorts with the Metro Atlanta Kwanzaa Association. So, but he was also a professional tailor. And he just made some beautiful, wonderful African clothing. I spent a lot of time with him in his tailor shop. And he would have like scraps of fabric and he had these beautiful fabrics. And so I saw him working with some certain pieces. It's called like fusing. And it's where a technique where you can take fabric and you can like put it on another piece of fabric and it would fuse into it and become one with the t-shirt or the jacket or whatever. And so I experimented with that technique and I started making my shirts. I was doing dresses, suits, all of that stuff with that technique. And that's basically what got the ball rolling with that back in the 80s, that particular technique where I didn't have to use thread or needle and I can get
Hmm.
creative and create, different shapes and things of that nature, like Africa and what have you, and put words on shirts through that technique. And again, I started that back in the late 80s. Mm-hmm.
Mm, very, very good, very good. One of the things that I wanted to speak of I had a question for you to tell us about your journey as a visual artist, but you've already begun to tell us about that. I want to say
Mm-hmm.
that the Black arts movement, which was sometimes referred to as the Black aesthetics movement, was influential in its ability to put together social, cultural, and political elements of the Black experience and established a real cultural presence in America on a mainstream level by incorporating the visual motifs representative of the African diaspora, as well as some of the themes of the revolutionary politicians and politics, right? All of this was going on all at the same time. These visual motifs that we began to see was representative of the African diaspora, as well as they did themes of revolutionary politics. They dealt with supporting Black nationalism and the Black arts movement all together, all of it all together, from white Eurocentric forms of art. We didn't have to deal with any of that, mainly because we had on. And I just wanted to highlight the work of the Black artists who sought to define a universal experience of Blackness that expressed empowerment, that expressed pride, and that expressed liberation. All of this is part of what we've been working with, dealing with, and understanding about the African American art. And there's many artists from the past and from the present who people may know of, but I like for you to tell us, brother, who some of the artists who actually influence your work.
hmm Well, it's some of them that are nameless, but the ones who I like to name, such as like I grew up again back in the '70s, and you remember there was a time when we didn't have CDs or even cassettes, and it was just like the album covers, and so
Yeah.
the album covers was so ingenious, and the album covers spoke to what the sentiment of the album was. For instance, like if you
Mhm.
remember Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions, and you remember that image on the album cover, like where they show
Mhm.
him and it's like a beam coming from his forehead, and like
Mhm.
he's like in
Mhm.
a meditative position, and it's
Yep.
called Inner Visions. Those album covers back then had that type of impact on me, how the visual could relate to the content that's in the album. And so
Mhm.
that was some of my influence, and so many of them is nameless. And another person I had to say is Ernie Banks, who did the famous out Marvin Gaye
Uh
"Let's
huh.
Get It On" album cover. People like that, how they
Yeah.
could just, and then he showed people dancing, that the little looks on their face, that little they getting it on, and the way their bodies were twisted.
Oh yeah.
Those are
Oh yeah.
some of my influences as far as black art. And then I had a beloved friend of mine, Baba Yusuf, A.K. Rashid. And Sister Raquel, you might remember Brother Yusuf. Anyway, he was a great influence in my life. He and I were like roommates for like about 2 years. We shared an apartment together for like 2 years. And that brother, he was so amazing. He would like he worked on a jazz series for the National Black Arts Festival, and he would like be up like painting, and I get up, he's still painting like at 1 a.m. And so he's working on Duke Ellington, and while he's painting, he's listening to Duke Ellington's music. While he's like channeling Duke Ellington through his work. And so just observing him had was one of my artistic
Oh.
inspirations, was that. And like I took a class with Baba Yusuf, and I produced my first ever oil painting. It was a painting of a young Honorable Elijah Muhammad before in Detroit before he became a messenger. Um, and so with Yusuf, that's when I found myself like just leaning towards art more and more, and it brought into wow, it's like I can't even thoroughly explain it, but I just like to say
Mhm.
that some other great influences is the late Radcliffe Bailey, who made his transition late last year, one of my contemporaries. And brother Fahamu Peku, he's still with us, and that brother's just know him and to rub shoulders with him and his great work, and he's just doing a lot community wise too. Those are some of my influences and stuff. And there's
Mhm.
countless others and too many to name, but those are some of my special influences and stuff. And it's like I said, it's part of my upcoming with the album covers and part of rubbing shoulders with some
Mhm.
great people here in the Atlanta community and in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio.
Brother Zaki,
Very good.
I want to
Very
ask you one question. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
ma'am. Mhm.
Could you uh contrast how the seven principles of Kwanzaa has also had an
Wow.
impact,
Yes,
direct
ma'am.
impact on your conceptualization of
Yes,
how you
ma'am.
operate in life? Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. That's a very good question. Because there's Kwanzaa, then there's the Nguzo Saba, the seven principles. We celebrate Kwanzaa 7 days, the last 6 days of the year and the first day of the year. Um, But like this Nguzo Saba, the seven principles is like some we should practice, and some of us do every day. And many of us have practiced it knowingly and unknowingly because it's something that we've done even before our ancestors was brought over here. It was something we innately did as a people, the Umoja, unity, the Kujichagulia, self-determination, the Ujima,
Mhm.
collective work and responsibility, the Ujamaa, cooperative economics, the Nia, purpose, the Kuumba, creativity, and the Imani faith. That's something we've practiced even before they put Dr. Karanga put names on them. And so it's something that I take pride even today in
Mhm.
accentuating and highlighting through my actions. Through it's my contribution. Malcolm X is my idol.
Mhm.
Malcolm X is my hero. But I know I can't be Malcolm X. But practicing an Nguzo Saba consciously, you know, I don't have to stand on a
Yes.
soapbox, but I can make a difference through that practice of
Mhm.
that, through my actions. And so through my
Mm.
art, through my visual art, it's social consciousness. The great poet, playwright, Nigerian playwright Wole Soyinka,
Mhm.
he said art for art's sake is the equivalent of
Mhm.
deodorized dog poop. I have
Ooh.
to make a contribution and say something through my art. That's significant. Why am I
Yes.
going to even participate in it and put my time and energy into it if it's not going to be for the embellishment and the progressive of my people? You know?
Well,
Brother Kenneth Zaki, could you repeat that
say
one
that.
more time?
Say
What's
that.
that?
One more time.
The quote? What play?
The quote, the quote.
The play? Okay. Dr. Wole Soyinka, he said, art for art's sake is the equivalent of deodorized dog poop. He didn't say poop, he used another word, but
Ooh.
y'all get the point.
We get the point. We get the point.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
it's
Right.
just like the Nguzo Saba, you know, it's a barometer for my life's work, my art. I'm not just doing art for that. It's my therapy, and I want to give others that type of that therapy, that serenity that I get from my art.
Mhm.
Looking and appreciating the
Mhm.
beauty of us, the beauty of our culture, who we are, and those
Mhm.
like adinkra symbols and what they mean. Those
Okay.
visual
Okay.
affirmations like Gien Yami, accept God, fear none.
Mhm.
That's a visual affirmation. That's what I
Mhm.
paint. I put those symbols and stuff throughout my art, you know, because I wanted to
All
be
right.
I wanted to be a conversation piece. I wanted to educate people. I had the other day as a brother, he bought a piece of my art. He bought a gourd, and it had Yami on it. He was in a hallway, repeating what I said to his child, talking about this is Yami. This symbol mean he's in a hallway teaching his son. He just learned it a minute ago when he came here
Brother
and asked me what
Zaki,
that
Mm.
symbol was.
Brother Zaki, very
All
important.
right.
What message would you love to impart to our youths forthcoming?
I would like to say that you have to take advantage and you have to be humble enough to receive the wisdom from your elders. You don't have
Mhm.
to read a book or many books if you tap into the wisdom of your elders and understand that they're coming from a position of love. And sometimes it's tough love, but it is necessary love. So one needs to humble themselves so they can be a recipient and grow at a faster pace. Because some many of us have been around the block a lot more than you younger people, and that's not to say that we know everything because there's something you can teach us. You know, there's things
Mm-hmm.
that you are aware of that we ain't. It's each one teach one and each one reach one. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
us having a superiority over you. It's just that we've been around the block a few times and we can make you aware of pitfalls.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's just a matter of humbling oneself and being a good judge of character and recognizing good energy. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about energy. You have to be sensitive enough to be aware of good energy so you can be a recipient of something greater than yourself. That's what I had to say to our youth.
Okay.
You know,
Very well.
humble,
Very well. Mm-hmm.
stay humble. There's
Stay
nothing wrong with
humble.
that. Remain humble. If you want to be in the culture, if you call yourself into the culture, if you call yourself, invested in the culture, you got to understand that we're new Africans. We're not that continental African. We ain't that African American. We new Africans. We reshape and define our reality. And that's how we had to do it through the
Mm-hmm.
practice of the Nguzo Saba and going back to our tradition. And there's a lineage that we must abide by. And that's one of respecting elders, respecting the
Okay.
woman, respecting the black
Mm-hmm.
woman,
Well,
recognizing her, recognizing Africa was more matriarchal than patriarchal, and understanding when
yes.
a woman, we gotta respect our sisters, our women. That's what we had to do. That's why I
Mm.
say to young brothers, you know, there's just certain things that women do better than us, and we need to humble ourselves so we can be the recipients of a blessing. And to the sisters, the young sisters, you know, there's certain things you can do to keep a good man. I know y'all making
Hey.
y'all I know y'all making y'all own money today and stuff. I know y'all making y'all own money. Y'all don't need nobody. But you know
Ah,
something? That money can't love you like a good man can. And you know something, you
well,
find one, if that man working and he trying and stuff, he living a clean life, he loving on you, he giving you all this attention, appreciate him. Y'all can grow together. Because we need that. We
yes.
brothers need that. And there's a lot of good brothers out there. Just like there's a lot of good sisters out there, y'all. We got to be more open-minded and stuff and humble ourselves and not let these Western influences and this pop culture slay us. Slay us. That's why we got to
Mm,
embrace things like the
mm,
Nguzo Saba. We got to come back home. We got to read books like Chains and Images of Psychological Slavery by Dr. Naeem Akbar and understand what those chains and images of psychological slavery is.
mm,
Okay?
mm.
Many of us still walking
Indeed.
around for
Indeed.
plantation mentality, and many of us still, talking about, many of us, I mean, brother, so there's a way out. That's all I can say. I'm doing the best I can through my expression of art and poetry. Okay, I'm not trying to be a preacher or anything. I just say this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what gives me peace.
Brother
Okay.
Zaki, thank you so much. It was not that you were being a preacher, but oftentimes we're in a very critical moment in history and time.
Yes.
And so we have to rapidly connect the dots. And so if we can impart one or two pearls of wisdom to our children, our children's children, then that's what we were here to do. And so it's not about preaching because it is required uh, if we are aware of what is really going on. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. My last question is this. When you, why don't you talk a little bit about a rites of passage? What is a rites of passage as it relate to our African centeredness?
Yes. Today it's a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but many of the rites of passage organizations that I am aware of, one of the things that fuel them is the understanding that we have a lot of young men that come from single parent households, and you know, like traditionally, even if you look back at the movie Roots, which did have some things that were just very on time, like how they showed when Kunta Kinte got of age, that the men took him off and the other young men in the village, you know, so that they can impart some things that would help them get and step into manhood. And so that's something that many of the rites of passage organizations do today. I know the ones that I have been involved with, that was our intent, and that's what we press forward. But even though we couldn't have the young men for like weeks and months, sometimes we would have them for the weekend, and we would have them overnight during the weekends, and we would impart and expose them as many things that move them forward into manhood as we could. And we had some success there. I have some young men I know today that is doing good things. In fact, when we came into the arts exchange, one of the requirements for being in the arts exchange, a student with a studio, is you had to do some community service work. And so out of that, I came up with a manhood sessions where I met with young men from like 8 to 16 every day. It was like a little summer program. And like I have several of those young men who visit me even today. The thing that brought it to a halt was COVID, you know, and all the things that was going on there. But before, we had a nice little rhythm, and we had a great amount of young men who attended that. And again, I know them today. I see them in manhood. They're in college. They're working, and they keep in touch with me. And they tell me that, you know, some of the things that I told them are sinking in. Like one of the things I used to tell them is that, you know, a man's work is a portrait of himself. And I was telling them about when they go into these jobs and stuff. And then I gave them some jobs, some assignments while they were with me in my studio. And I would critique them. And then I introduced them to the real world. And it's things like that, you know, that that's necessary, and we need to have I think we need to have more of them to assist again our single parents, in particular, you know, the sisters, because there's a need for that. And that's not to take away nothing that the sisters are doing. It's just giving the young men more exposure on a more uh, steady basis to men,
Hmm.
to real men, and to talk about things that men need to talk about to young men for them to become better men.
Oh, that is so
Well,
wonderful.
I really
I love the work you've done and the work you're even doing now with the young men.
Thank you.
Yes, love that so very much. Um, oh, so many things I want to
would there
bring out and
be?
ask, but let me let me just
I
say
want to
that we're
ask one
getting
more.
messages in the studio. We're getting messages in the studio. People thanking you, brother
Oh,
Zaki, for your insight and for your
I
wisdom. I just want you
appreciate
to
it.
feel that.
I
Take that
appreciate it.
on.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
And
it.
we do have quite a few people tuning in today. So thank you so
Hmm.
much for being with us. Ooh, I'm trying to think if there are any more questions. Oh, tell us about some of the
I have
young
one more
artists
question,
who you
brother
have
Zaki.
influenced. Just one moment. Just one moment. I
Oh,
wanted him to tell us about some of the young men he's influenced so we'll know
yeah, yeah,
future
yeah.
artists coming up. Who are some of those names?
Um, One's name is Akmos Salim. Another one's name is Jalen Mitchell. And
Salim Jalen?
I'm working with a young lady right now. Her name is Uwe Blast.
Uwi? How you spell that? U-W? U-W?
UWI.
Okay.
UWI.
Okay. And
So
I'm
those
just
are
putting
three of
on the
the those
board.
are three people that I
Um,
really worked with, and they have the artistic leanings.
okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we put those names on the screen of those young artists coming up who have been mentored under the iconic Mr. Zakee. Tell us about the name Mayor. How did you get that title?
I don't know who's starting this trouble. That title came to me like about 30 years ago. I used
Oh,
to MC the Malcolm X Festival. That was in the West End Park. We called it Malcolm X Park.
yeah.
I MC'd that for like 13 years. It's in the heart of West End, and then my favorite restaurants were all in the West End. So I lived in the West End for about maybe 10 years. And anyway, this guy, he started calling me the mayor of the West End. And it just caught
Uh-huh.
on. Even today, I go somewhere and they say, make way for the mayor. Here come
Right
the mayor
on.
of the West End. And so I'm working on this is something I haven't told many people, but right now I
Mhm.
am working on a album with music of my poetry.
Uh-huh.
And the title of the album is The Mayor of the West End.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to be
It's
telling our audience to look out for
Yes, it's
your
called The Mayor
upcoming
of the West
album.
End, and it's my poetry with music, produced by Masiki Scales.
Okay. All right.
Do
Very
you have
good.
anything else?
Go
Do you
ahead.
have
Go
anything
ahead,
else you would
Rakaya.
like to
Thank you
share
for.
with us?
Well, I would like to just share, close out, share a poem before it's over. It's not a long poem, but it's just a message I would like to give to everybody.
Thank you. We love to hear it.
Okay. Um, it's called Disillusioned. You say
Disillusioned.
you're uptight, things aren't going right, your goal is not in sight. All you see is blight. You say your life is hard. You are the equivalent of your faith in God.
Hmm.
That's it.
Hey, before I can even put up on the screen what you're doing. All right, ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen, the piece that he just gave us. All right.
That
I
was
want
a
you to see
shorty.
that. It's a,
So
uh-huh.
I just share another shorty with you. This poem is called Pressed. I ain't
Okay.
pressed. I ain't pressed. Not oppressed, depressed, or
Ha!
impressed. I'm just
Woo!
pressing on.
Oh, oh, I love it. I hope you will
Nice.
allow us to share that, Brother Zaki, during Black History Month. If you'll send
Oh
that to
yeah,
us,
share it.
we'll put it on the screen
It ain't
so
mine.
people
That's the most
can get to
high.
hear that and see what that's really all about. This is great. Now,
Yeah.
we did want Coach Ra and Nana to speak a little bit today. Let's see. I don't think we have much time to do that today, Coach Ra. And I think you'll agree
It's
with
okay.
me that we wanted to hear what Brother Zaki had to say. And Brother
I
Zaki,
I will talk about. Let me say this much. I'm gonna say this much to you. That what Brother Zaki has done is mental health. And so art therapy reduces depression and anxiety. It calms your nerves. And so I am honored that Brother Zaki was able to take some time out of his time to impart this critical information to us. This is a gift you cannot afford. You cannot pay for this. And so
okay.
take this in take this in mind that this is what it is all about. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you
Queen Mother.
as well, Rakaya. Brother Zaki, we're going to have you back because the brother has done a lot of work in art, visual art, but he's also done a lot of work in poetry, in the spoken word. So we're going to have him back at another time when we're talking about spoken word and poetry and have him do some other pieces. I'm wondering if Nana can put on the screen one of his paintings of that woman who's singing and let him give us the interpretation of that particular piece and what gave him the inspiration for that. It was an art piece that he's done of a woman with a microphone. If we can have that on the screen, Nana. Yeah.
There it
Tell
is.
us about this piece, brother.
Um, I love music and I love motion, and I wanted to do a big piece like that. It's a big piece. Um,
Mhm.
and the beauty about it is that everything that you're looking at is like little pieces of fabric like this. That's all. It's oh my goodness. It's probably like it's hundreds of.
Looks like we've lost some sound somewhere. Looks like we've lost some sound somehow. I'm wondering whether or not you can even hear me. I can't tell. All right, but let's go back
Lose-
in.
Did we lose Zaki? Did we lose brother
No, there he
Zaki?
is. Yeah,
I'm
there he
here.
is.
I'm
All
here.
right.
But again, that was the inspiration for that piece is that I love the music. I love beautiful black women, and like I say, I just want to. That's where I was at the time. But the real thing that I appreciate about that piece is it has a whole. It's made out of a whole. I venture to say almost 1,000 little pieces of fabric. It's
Wow.
not one big piece of fabric. Those are little pieces of fabric pieced together like a puzzle.
Wow. And see, I didn't know I didn't even know that from my perspective. When I see it, it looks like paint. When I
Yes,
look at
and
the
that's
piece, it looks
it's
like
not a
paint.
it's
No
not a
idea
drop
it
of
was
paint on
fabric.
there. It's not a drop of paint
Wow.
on there. Her eye was a piece of
Wow.
white fabric and black fabric.
Wow.
So would you would
Beautiful.
you would you label that a tapestry? Would that
That's
be
what I
called a
call it.
tapestry?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I call it.
Yeah,
Tapestry.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
All right,
and
we are nearing uh-huh.
behind me are tapestries too. I have them framed.
They're kind of far away. It's hard for us to see the detail in them unless you can go over there some kind of way. We still have you on camera. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I love
Lovely.
the studio.
Lovely.
Would you tell us where your studio is located, brother Zaki?
My
Give us the
studio is
information.
located in East Point, down the street from Tyler Perry at the Arts Exchange. It's in the Arts Exchange building, 2148 Newnan Street. 2148 Newnan Street, East Point, in the Arts Exchange building. You
And
can
could
feel
you
free to
Okay.
you can feel
is
free
there a
to
phone
reach
number?
me. You can, yes, the phone number, my phone number is 678-927-5844. Call me or text me, because I probably don't know who you are, so you might want to do a text.
Let's have that number again.
678-927-5844.
Okay.
678-927-5844.
And
Six
do
seven
you have
eight
a
nine two two seven. 678-9227.
No, no, no. 678-927.
Okay. What
Five
else?
eight four four. Five eight four
Thank
four.
Very well. I have it now. I'm going to put it up on the screen. So
Thank you.
those who wish to be in contact with you can actually do that. And let me
Yes,
say
ma'am.
that when you're dialing the number, if you're calling him from, if you're not in America and calling him, you have to put 0001 and then 678. So those of you in the art world who are listening to Brothers Aki, 001-678. And then, of course, the rest of the number. All right, we're reaching what I call that hour of when the show actually ends. And Brother Zaki, it has been so wonderful to have you here on the Queen Mother Speak show today. We're just delighted to have a
Thank you.
renowned African American. And I must tell you, here in Kenya, we were looking for a visual artist who could put up an exhibit in Kenya doing Black History Month. I wasn't able to find one who was willing to put up their exhibit doing this African American and the arts theme for Black History Month. So, in as much as I feel like there's a lot of African Americans here, my research showed me that there's really not. The fact that I can't find one, right? And even looking for artists here in Kenya to be on the show during African History Month was difficult. So
Mm.
we are not only delighted that you're here, we've been blessed. We've been
Thank
blessed to
you.
be in the essence of your presence. And what we
Thank
want to
you.
say to you as we're in this new year, we're asking God and all the spirits in the healing world to send you the love, to send you the light, and send you the joy that you need to continue to do the work that you're doing. Uh-oh, we just got another comment to put up on the screen. Let's see if we can get that on the screen right now.
I see that. That's when
All right.
Shay, that's when Sass. My sister Sass. I
Yes.
saw
Yes.
uh,
Yes, she is our sister, and we love her dearly. And we're going to bid you a good day. Coach Ra, thank you for being here. And thank you for helping Queen Mother to find Brother Zaki to be on the show. And when I say find, not like it was difficult. It's just that the brother's so busy, I don't know which number to reach him on. And Coach Rob was very instrumental in helping us to have Brother Zaki on the show today. Brother, anytime that you want to come on the Queen Mother Speak show, let me say to you here and now, this is your international platform.
thank you.
Whenever you want to be here, this is
Queen Mother.
for you.
Queen Mother. I'm
Yes,
looking forward. I'm
yes.
looking forward to visiting you in Kenya. My wound is
Oh, I
like
want you here in Kenya.
95%. My wound is like 95% healed. I'm got to go into physical
Hallelujah.
therapy, and I'm going to be
Yes,
much stronger and in a position to travel within the next year. And I'm going to take advantage of your invitation and come to
yes,
Kenya and
yes,
just lay back for a month or 2 months and
yes,
absorb Kenya. I look forward to
yes.
that.
We look forward to that. And Queen Mother has adopted a village in the Massa Mara area, and they're already telling me when are we going to have Zaki? They say Zaki. I'm trying to get them to say Zaki, but right now they're saying Zaki. Queen Mother, when are we going to have Zaki? So they know about you, and I look forward to introducing you to my village. It's called the Sekonandi Village. It is
Mm.
Chief Tom who's over that group, and they want to have you. They want you to go out with them when they go and farming the animals, when they out in the morning letting them cows get grass. They want to have you with them. And I told them, I think you wouldn't mind doing that, but I'm gonna have to let you talk to them because they
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
introduce you into their world. And I'm telling you,
Yes, ma'am.
you're gonna love it. You're
Yes,
gonna love it, and
ma'am.
we look forward to having you. Um, Again, Coach Rob, thank you for being here. This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time, 9 a.m. New York time, 2 p.m. Ghana time, 6 a.m. California time. Tune in next week and bring others. On next week's show, we hope to have another artist who is a performing artist, a singer, to come on the show. I'm also inviting some young people on the show who are writers. And some of them are young writers, African Americans. So stay tuned in. Thank you again for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. We're going to end it the way we always do, by sending love into the world. We do that, Brother Zakee. We take our left hand, we blow a kiss. We take our right hand, we blow a kiss. Then both hands and blow a kiss. And we do it all together. We're going to do it together. So we're sending this love into the world together. Starting with the left hand. Let's go. Left hand first. Mwah. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you. Right hand. Right hand. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you. Mwah. And now with both hands. Love, love, love. Here we go. Did you get that? Did you get that? I hope you got that. We love you. Thank you. It is a beautiful day.
Thank you,
Happy
brother
Black History
Zaki.
Month. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy day. Happy life. Stay tuned.